We're here with head coach Terry Horan getting ready for the homecoming game. It's not only it's homecoming, it's a pretty big game as you go against Bethel, who both teams are fighting right now at the top of the MIAC. Let's go back to last week. Good win against St. Olaf. Chad Johnson, sophomore fullback, runs for 4 touchdowns, something that hasn't been done since Kevin Williamson did it in 2006 when he did 5 against Augsburg. What does Chad Johnson bring to this offense? Because we really haven't talked about him yet.
Right. Well, you know what? He's been an incredible fullback for us. He probably isn't the mold of fullback like we've had over the years. When you talk about Kevin Williamson and Eddie Ehlers and Brett Bowney and guys like that, and even our 2 horses from last year. He's more he's speedier, got good quickness, got really good vision, hits the holes a lot quicker, but he's still physical. He is a tough kid. He just doesn't have the weight on him like those other guys. He hits those holes pretty hard, and he reaped the benefits of some good drives and some short yardage where he was able to pound them in some power plays. But he certainly was worthy of the guy who received the game ball for us after that win.
Another thing that was a little change in your offense was the addition of Michael Herzog because of Alex Grove's injuries. How rate him as far as his first college start?
I thought Michael did a nice job. I thought his poise was there. He made some really good decisions. The one area that was probably a coaching point area, no question about it, we had 9 offensive penalties. 6 of those 9s were false starts, and it's more of a boisterous thing from our QB. And every quarterback's a little bit different, so you got to understand he goes from fullback to quarterback in a week, and trying to get not only a game prep ready and a plan of attack and just everybody getting on the same page with his voice. So that's something that we really emphasize this week too. But he threw the ball really well. I know he had a couple that he would like back, a nice easy dump off and into the flat to our fullback that would have been a really big gainer. He overthrew, but other than that, I thought he performed pretty well.
And then on the defensive side, you guys only gave up 7 points. What worked well for you guys defensively against the Olaf?
Well, we stopped the run really well. I don't think they only had about 75 yards rushing. They were averaging about 148. We were able to get 2 key turnovers, and one was in the end zone by Tyler Hansen, made a nice grab. I just thought we totally controlled. I think the one area that we can improve on defensively is we had too many missed tackles, and within special teams too. That was another area of emphasis this week too as we move forward for Bethel.
Now, as we look at Bethel, it's a little bit different Bethel team just because you don't look up and you don't see the Eric Peterson at quarterback and some of the other guys. But as with all Bethel teams, they just kind of keep bringing guys in and keep bringing guys in. Let's talk offensively what they do. They still have, Klitsky at running back, Newville, and, Bridgeport Tussler, the other running back. So they run the ball really well, and they also have some great athletes. What do they, as far as game plan, give to you guys offensively?
Well, they create a lot of fits, obviously. They're a physical offense again. Their offensive line, they've taken a few hits with some injuries, but they just keep reloading with guys with good size there, and they move really well for guys that have nice frames on them. But you named off a bunch of them. Newville's very impressive. It's probably the best tight end in our conference, and their quarterback Trey Anderson's very athletic. He's only a freshman, but certainly doesn't look like a freshman on that football field. And he's got 2 guys to hand the ball off to in Bridgeport, and also Klitsky, as you mentioned. And they want to run the football, and they're very good at what they do. And they got a great little play-action scheme to go along with it, and they always have a few different wrinkles, and they're tough to defend. It's a team that, I don't know if you can stop them. You just got to try to slow them down, try to keep them on the bench. With our offense, using the clock and taking care of the football, and you look over the years, and a stat that really jumps out at me is turnovers. I looked at the last 3 years, and it was 12-1. Well, we went back the last 6 years, and it's like 22-1. We've had 22 turnovers to their 1 turnover, and you look back these last several years, it's the turnovers that have done us in. Last year they had a big kickoff return against us that really kind of we went on a long drive, we score, we kick off to them, and they punched us to the mouth and ran a kickoff back, and those things can kill you in big games, and field position is so important. So special teams has to take an extra special deal of as far as doing their job and doing it right, and making sure that we're wrapping up and we're seeing their returns and we're making plays specialty wise.
Yeah, normally I usually talk about keys of the game, but I'm going to put you on the spot. If you could win one battle on Saturday, either get time of possession or you win the turnover battle, which one do you take?
Yeah, turnovers. Yeah, I looked at our time of possession. Last week that was a huge positive for us. We got 37 minutes and 58 seconds, and we hadn't had that all year. So that was nice to see. We stayed on the field. First down efficiency was great. Third down efficiency was great. Explosive plays was great. All of that, and that obviously keeps you on the field, which would be nice against Bethel. But the way it looks over these last several years, last 6 years, 22-1 in turnovers, I want to win the turnover battle and roll the dice and take my chances.
And then finally, the homecoming week's so special because you have so many things going on. But one thing that the fans don't get to see is you bring back alumni to talk to the team, whether it be on Friday night or Saturday in the locker room. What are you looking forward to for this homecoming? Who are you bringing back to have talk to the team?
Well, homecoming is always special, and when you can see guys that have played for you or even guys that have played in your program, that's pretty special, and the memories and all that you get a chance to talk to. Well, this year what we did is we shot out a little bit of a text to all of our most recent alums, our guys from the last 3-4 years. If they're in town, if they're around, to come over to our Friday walkthrough and then come into our locker room and maybe say a few words to the team. And I know we've got a bunch of takers, so we're going to have some guys coming back. But one that we're really excited about, too, is a young man this past summer who I asked to come back because I knew he was coming back from homecoming, is Jordan Telge. Jordan Telge, a Moorhead native, All-American defensive back. He was a Gallardi finalist. He's a lawyer now out in Washington. Well, he's coming back with his family, and his group, 2004, won a conference championship for us. And actually, homecoming is kind of our Joshua Shield Day, where all of our new freshmen, new coaches will receive their Joshua Shield for the first time. It was that very group that kind of started that tradition. So he is really looking forward to having our chapel, handing out the new Joshua Shields to our young freshmen. And the Joshua 1:9 is to be strong and courageous, to not be terrified and not be discouraged, for Lord, you got to be with you wherever you go. And it's perfect for our football team and in what we believe in. And homecoming is just pretty special, and it doesn't get any better than Bethel at Concordia on homecoming, and I don't think we'd want it any way different.
Good luck.
Hey, thank you.